Hello everybody, this is Robert Hollis. I hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day. And the video for today is going back to school. Going back to school. Now, for me, I didn't like school. No, I did like school. I'll tell you that in a minute. So I'll wait for Facebook to really nicely go out and tell everyone that I have a video going live here. So Facebook, thank you. Thank you. Love Facebook. So cool. Relearning involvement. Yes, Bill. Hi, Craig. Hi, my lovely wife, Terry. Thank you so much. And let me see here. Hi, Angela. It was so good to talk to you. She just sent me a picture with my last name on a car. That was pretty cool. So, hey, Kai. Hi, Peter. Hey, John. How are you? Nice to have you on here. I think I said Craig. Hi, Ola. How are you doing? Ed, great to see you. And so we'll go ahead and get started here today. So again, the chapter is going back to school. Now, one of the very unique things about this chapter is, I thought I was going to be able to condense the last couple of chapters into one video, and then I went, no, I'm not. This video is super, super, super important. And it's one of the things that I think that is most important is that if you ever hear, hi Scott, hi Crystal, if you guys ever hear that a lot of people fail and in this kind of industry, they're right. They're absolutely correct. But here's something that you guys, and this is out of the basics to how to build a large, successful network marketing organization. I've told people there's right and wrong ways to do everything. Whether you're in real estate, whether you're in insurance, whether you're in car sales, whether you're a good athlete, a good singer, a good actor. The census, the United States Census, and the IRS statistics are there. They're flat out there. That 11% of the people make 100,000 plus. 11%. Now, understand this is 11% of the people in the United States that are gainfully employed. All right? So, that's usually around half of the population. Let that sink into your head. So, half of the people in the United States work. The rest of them could be retired or too young to work or, need some kind of government assistance. Maybe they're disabled. And thank God for that, when I got on workman's comp. And so it really, really is amazing that a lot of people get involved in building a home-based business and in this industry with the mentality that it's a lottery, that it's a mentality that they have unrealistic expectations. Like people will get in, they'll go, I'll give this a try. Don't bother. Don't bother. You're not going to make money and you get to be a statistic again. And so this whole chapter is about, are you willing to go back to school and just to get into the mentality a little bit about what this is actually going to take. So one of the first things that I underlined here, which was really, really powerful, is the majority of the people need to learn how to do this business. See, a lot of people throughout, even people that I know that make a full-time income, they don't know how to do this business. They don't know how to teach another person how to get an income. All right? So here's how you can tell. When you think in your mind, who can I get into my business? Who can I get into my business? Instead of, to whom could I offer an opportunity to retire? See, that's a totally different mentality to who could I sell something to who could I get into the business to buy some product so I can get a check, to the mentality that you are actually introducing somebody to a way that they could retire or double their income. So when you go through this chapter in the book, it says, do you know anyone? I'm going to say this to you. Do you know anyone of a 4-year college course where you could graduate and then hope to retire within 1 to 3 years, 1 to 3 years, with better than a $50,000 a year income? Listen to that. Okay, now I was really blessed because I got plugged into a system that my mentor showed me that was simple and easy and, most important, duplicatable. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in another video. But one of the things that I know that people fail in this industry is because they, again, have unrealistic expectations. They believe that it's going to happen so fast. And more important, they really don't think they have to learn anything. It's like, I'm just going to post a bunch of stuff on social media and sell some product. I'm just going to post a bunch of stuff on social media and get people to get into my company. I was looking for, see, not anywhere do I know where people are saying that you need to sponsor someone and then help them teach this person and teach this person how to sponsor. So if you notice, this is 4 levels deep on you. So if you got paid like a martial arts instructor, if you got paid like a teacher to actually teach things where a person can pass a test and then get a grade in school. So I started out today talking about, in high school, in elementary school, because I was getting passed from foster home to foster home and growing up in all these different deals, I really didn't care about school. I had some people that tell me, why do you go to school? You go to school to get good grades so you can get a job. And so if they said, if you can get a job, then why you got to go to school? So we become who we hang around, right? It wasn't until I went into one foster home, and the foster father was named Ted Johnstone, God rest his soul. And he told me, listen, if you're at the house, you got to do work. If you're at the ranch, you got to do work. But if you get into sports, listen closely, if you get into sports, then you don't have to do chores. You can focus. You can focus on practicing and doing good in sports. So this immediately got me to go, okay, I'm getting into track, I'm getting into football, I'm getting into basketball, I'm getting into everything. I'd rather do sports than have to work chores on the ranch. The second thing that he said is, Robert, for every grade that you have below a C, so if you have a C minus, you have a D plus, each level below a C not only makes you not eligible to play sports, but you also have to study an hour for each degree. So if you're C minus, that's an hour, and that's on all your courses. So I was going like, are you telling me that if I had a C minus or a D that I'd have to study 1 to 2 hours on every subject that I have in school? And he said, yeah. Isn't it amazing that immediately what I did is I then fell in love with school? I did what was required. Because someone gave me standards. I raised my standards, and I raised my obligation. I raised my requirements. And was easy. He wasn't asking me to be an A+ student. He was asking me to be a C student, right? And so all of a sudden when I left that foster home and went to another home that didn't care, my grades failed. I got out of sports. I started working on cars, which ended up to be pretty good for me. But when I went to college, when I went to the North Dakota State College of Science, #1 trade school in a lot of categories at that time and even today. I was married and I had a kid. And now all of a sudden it's like a professor again sat down with me and he said, Robert, listen, man, if you graduate at the top of your class, if you do your best, and then I'm going to help you pass the ASC test to be a master automotive technician. He said, you can write your ticket. You can write your ticket to any job that you want. He said, I have kids that get offered over 50 jobs when they graduate. And I not only got at the top of my class, but I also graduated on the dean's list. And I got 72 job offers when I got out of college as a master automotive technician. Now, why do I say that? I say that to you that the reason that I did those things was because someone sat down with me and drew out the numbers. See, someone drew my future. It's called future casting. It's basically, hey, if you do A, B, C, this is what you're going to get. And it blows my mind that people don't understand that you have to have an organization of people that are making money. If you have 1,000 people in your group that are making money every week, I'm telling you what, you're doing awesome. And so you got to go back to school and study this book and learn how to do that. Because some of you are just going, hey, I don't like doing sales. I don't like doing this. I don't need any money. I'm just going to be complacent. So I'm just going to do this. I'm not going to do anything. I don't need to study. See, you're not in the mentality of understanding how to plug people into the videos that I've been doing. If your number one goal was not who can I get into the business or who can I sell the product to, if your number one thought is who could I find that would be interested in retiring in 1 to 3 years, earning more than $50,000 a year. Now, why is this important? It's everything. Because the majority of the people that I know not only do the salesman syndrome that we talked about, but they're just throwing people in like crazy, hoping they figure it out. And it's unrealistic expectations. So people get in and then they share it with everyone they know. They share it the wrong way because they're trying to sell something or they're trying to get someone in their business to buy products so they get a check. And they're not interested in helping their people get a payday. And they're not interested in helping their people's people get a payday. And they're not interested in helping their people's get a payday. So a lot of people get into this like a lottery or a get-rich-quick scheme, and they're just going out there and sharing it with everyone, and the rest of the world normally shares, well, listen, some will, some won't, so what next? But my mentor didn't do that to me. My mentor told me, hey, listen, again, a video, I know I'm bouncing around, but the video that I did is why is Amway kicking our ass? How did they go to 8.5 billion to 8.9 billion? Is because they tell people, listen, how much time are you willing to spend to study and get something down to generate you an extra $50,000 a year? See, because the average income in the United States per household is $54,000. So people get into this and they really don't learn anything. I could go to some of the most successful people in this industry and say, listen, show me someone in your group that is making more than you. There's no one making more than me. What? How many people do you have in your group that are making a full-time income? Nobody. Then you haven't gone to school. You haven't gone back to school and understand the principles in this book. So one of the things that I think is really powerful in this chapter is, again, it just talks about the consistency of always playing with the numbers. Just always playing with the numbers so you can get sort of a mentality. A lot of people, when they go through this book, will ask, where's the customers come from? Isn't it important to have customers? And the answer is absolutely yes. And you guys already know that if you learn to do this business correctly, there's a couple of things that are going to happen that you guys already know. First of all, do you believe that everyone that you approach properly will get into the business? We all know that's not true. No, a lot of people are not going to do it. A lot of people are not going to reply. A lot of people are going to reply, maybe trying to get you involved in whatever they're doing. Some people are going to be rude. Some people are going to reach out and give you wedding proposals. And some people are going to reach out and send you unsolicited bad information, constantly trying to get you in, borrow them money. We know that all this is out there, but it also happens in the street. You know what I mean? I run into people that are begging for money. I run into people that won't even give me eye contact. I run into people that might cross the street. I don't know. Maybe my shirts are too flowered or whatever. But if you're not willing to put hours in on a weekly basis to learn something that could generate you a full-time income, then what are you expecting out of this? Your goal is to make sure that you pull off bringing someone in and getting them a payday and helping them get their new person a payday and helping them get their new person a payday. If you have not done this, then you do not understand this profession. You do not understand this industry. Now, a lot of people will say, well, listen, I don't know how to show them how to do that stuff. Neither did I. But going back to school got me to the point where I could then point, guide, and direct people to my mentor's videos. So he had a video called 4 Steps to Success. I just named it Steps to Success and Freedom. My goal was to get as many people in front of the numbers, showing them the possibility of what could possibly happen. To get them to go, hey, Robert, if you get good grades in school, then you're going to get a lot of job offers. See, that job offer got me an incredible job with Midas, believe it or not, that got me out to California, Palo Alto. And then I went from Palo Alto to Los Angeles, El Monte, California, because I wanted to be around race cars. And from there, I figured out that Toyota mechanics got paid the most money. And then I went to Toyota dealership, and then one after another, where I eventually worked at Longo Toyota with Roger Penske. Now I'm fulfilling what I thought that was my dream of being a crew chief and working on professional race cars. See, so, my videos after this book is all going to be about you being able to change your mindset. So when I met someone, I was told, listen closely, this is important, this is a part of this training, is I was told, hey, Bobby, who do you know that would like to earn 6 figures a year with a proven system and proven free training? Who do you know? I met a guy that makes over 62 grand a month. I seen his check attached to the stub. And I would like to introduce you to him, so you can evaluate the information to introduce us to some people that would like to make 6 figures plus a year. Do you know of anyone like that? And I'm like, yeah. Now that might be just a little different than what we've been talking about this whole entire time. But that is the aspect. As you draw numbers, you're just playing with those numbers. So the other chapter in this book is the next chapter we're going to cover is, again, playing with the numbers. So the numbers is you consistently drawing numbers, drawing circles, and doing the 2x2, the 3x3, the 4x4, the 5x5, like we did yesterday. I mean, I got a lot of great messages from this. And believe it or not, that was another video that my mentor showed me. It was so funny. It was called, the position was called Fifth Dimension. And Fifth Dimension was $500,000. It would be same as our 500K position, right? And my mentor had a video that I watched that showed me how to consistently drive in depth and then keep doing it all the way around so that I had 5 legs that were growing. Because some comp plans in the olden days, they said you couldn't raise and rank. Thank God my daily choice doesn't do this. But I've been involved in companies that said you couldn't become a 500K unless you had 5 100Ks. That you would have to have a 100K person and 5 separate legs. Wow, that's not easy. In this comp plan, it's all based on volume. So it's how many people in each group. Believe it or not, you could have them all front level. I know that sounds crazy to have, if you wanted to go to a master affiliate, you'd have to have 55,556 front level people that were active with 90 in volume. So that's why you want to learn to get help. But one of the things I love in every one of these scenarios is just drawing out the numbers. Is here they showed, that you had 155 serious people. And where the friends come from is covering that point, and I'll be done, is that if you keep approaching people and keep getting gooder and keep getting better and have a forecast of where you're going, one day I'll make $50,000 a year. One day I'll make $50,000 a month, whatever your goal is. And as you're putting it together and you're selling that same vision cast or that same future cast or showing the videos that I showing this, steps to success and freedom. Then what you do is you got to understand there's another group of people. These are people that will get involved with you and all they'll be is customers. So, in all the years of doing this industry, let's just count the 4 years that we are in MDC. Right now, of course, more become active during the month, but we have 21 active customers. What does that mean? That means that the person bought product this month of June. Does that make sense? So there's going to be a lot of people like Dan McCormick, incredible successful network marketer with Nu Skin, been there for 20 years. When he seen us marketing a product that he didn't have, he wanted to become a customer. And I got a lot of people that reach out and say, I want to try that product. So I can't stop getting customers because I continue to approach people looking for people that want to make 6 figures a year. Does that make sense to everyone? So that's why if you play with the numbers and you go out and you just play with them, right? So, let's say you had 155 people serious in your group that each had 10 customers. Well, that's now 1,550 customers. If you took 1,550 customers times whatever number, I'll grab our number, so 90. So I'm going to take 1,550 and I'm going to take it times 90. That's $13,950. That would be almost $14,000 a month and true passive residual income. Now, what I love about what this book says, let's cut it in half. So if I divided that by 2, that would be 69,000. So how many people would be okay with $69,000 a month in passive residual income? Are you guys catching this? Well, let's just reduce that to the ridiculous again. It's always playing with the numbers. Let's divide that in half again. Okay, so that's 34,000 in volume. So you're a 25K and you're only making $3,400 a month. See, that's when people go, 3,400? Wow, so let's take 3,400 and let's take that times 12. That's just an extra $40,000 a year. See, playing with the numbers and saying, God, what if I got 6 instead of 5? You know, what if I helped other people what if I had 4 people underneath me that were all 25Ks, or 5 people? So 5 times 25. Oh my God. You know, this is when you play with the numbers that you really start to understand what keeps you in this game. What really keeps you in the game is, what would you do with that money? What would I do? How would I feel? How would I feel if I made an extra $2,000 a month? What would I do with it? Pay down credit cards. Man, that would be a good payment on a new car with insurance this time. You know, it's like you got to constantly keep yourself in the game by showing people the numbers and going through the numbers. And that's when you'll start to get this. You'll really start to get this when you got that down. So that's what I'm going to be covering for this one. Tomorrow I'll be covering another couple of chapters in this book. But never ever forget that the way that you treat this profession, is it really worth it? See, in Amway, when I brought that up, Amway tells their people that it's like a college education. If you would go to college and get a degree to get out and start out at making $30,000, $40,000 a year and then work your way up, then if this industry really has people, average people that make 6 figures, mid 6 figures, $1 million a year, is it worth learning to do this? And for me, the answer is yes. But if you treat it like a lottery and you do like the salesman syndrome and you're just trying to sell everyone, then people get burned out, they quit, and you say, hey, this doesn't work. So that's why people keep saying this doesn't work. There's people that have been around me, like I said, 35 years, and they're still not masters of this book. They still don't understand this profession the way that I understand it. So I believe in you. I know that you can do it. You master, like my mentor said, Robert, you master this industry, and you'll be able to go anywhere in the world and make 7 figures. You can go to any company and make 7 figures because you understand the principles. What most people do is they'll start to learn the principles in this book, and then they start listening to somebody else, and then they start listening to somebody else, and then they start listening to somebody else, and then they take this course and hire this coach and go to this event, and they watch a bunch of people on stage at a generic convention, and they try to put all those ingredients into a recipe, and it just flat out sucks. And then you know what they do? They do something even worse. They then start teaching people that unproven system. So what they do is they just talk to all their people front level, and all they do is just constantly the idea of the week, the idea of a day, the idea of a month. Here's something new. And they just keep throwing these random ingredients in people's heads all the time. They're constantly pointing to this person and this person and this person and this person. And now the person has all these thoughts in their heads, and they don't know what to do, so confused people do nothing. And then if they try to do something, they're always mixing the wrong ingredients together to get the awful taste. So then they don't get results. So then they don't know how to teach their people to get results. And we'll cover that tomorrow. So I love and appreciate you. Please share this video with people that you know. And if no one's giving you permission to succeed in life, let me be the first. Again, I love and appreciate you, and we'll see you real soon. Bye for now.